I'm trying to decide whether or not Kamen Rider Zeztz episode 32 just broke the show and broke the story for me or not. Because I'm uncomfortable with a few things that are going on, and largely I'm admitting that I don't quite understand what's going on. And that's part of the problem. That's what makes me so uncomfortable. There are 2 to 3 dynamics that I don't get and I don't accept, and that make me feel as if it's all been a mistake. Something's going on that's bad. One thing is there seems to be a message going on that Zero, his plan and his scheme, or Zero's plan for Baku and his hope for Zeztz, and the truth about nightmares and how they overpower and overcome dreams is a justification for him being a bad father. And really, I asked in my last short I think I published just recently was saying I don't know if Zero's a bad father or not. There's not enough evidence. Now there is enough evidence for me to say he's neither a good father or a bad father. He's not a father. Him being the donor to Baku's mother, whoever she was, biological mother, does not make him a father. Mr. Yorozu is Baku's father. If that's the case, why then do I have such strong feelings about Luke and Anakin? I don't know. It's a different story. Also, Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire one, did a really good job with the concept of a father, and Peter having rejected Uncle Ben, says, then stop pretending to be. That's his last words to Uncle Ben, I think, unless it was like, I'll catch a bus home. I know I'm not your father, then stop pretending to be. And then later in the movie, at the end, the emotional climax, I would say, or close to it, Norman tells him, I've been like a father to you, be a son to me now. And he says, I have a father. His name is Ben Parker. Was Ben Parker, whatever. So you have that interesting contrast. The man, no, it's not a contrast. The man who raised Peter was Ben. Therefore, he's his father. So I'm acknowledging that dynamic, and I'm applying it here to Zeztz and saying Baku's father is Mr. Yorozu. It's not Zero. And that's very good. It's a very strong, it's a very well-founded concept, that it isn't who you are or where you come from that matters as much as who, I guess, has been with you that matters. It's a little bit of I can see the root of found family in that, because it's not so much found family, it's more like family ties and family connection are not biological. They're based on, they're behavioral. They're based on environment. They're based on who you're with and how those people interact with you. And I think that's a more important thing. And I feel like there's kind of a bait and switch going on here. There's a statement being made that because Zero is Baku's biological father, and because he had to withhold his love from him, that he was doing something noble and he was making some sort of sacrifice. He was suffering for his son in order to have his son accomplish something greater. And I just don't buy it. I don't like it. I'm also uncomfortable with the idea that seems to be presented here, that at the dawn of creation, when humans arose, nightmares also arose, and that as humans have advanced and had bigger dreams, nightmares have been able to grow in power as well, to match, to meet, to exceed the power or the strength of humans' dreams by turning those dreams into nightmares as well, and causing harm, causing damage. I won't speak to the other idea that's presented here. And I find that to be strange as well, and I'm not sure I buy it. I think this might be another Catastrum Ordrum type of situation where a false claim is being presented as if it's truthful, and we're going to see our hero be the kind of individual who can push through that falsehood and reveal a greater truth to people. And I think that's a good thing, potentially. I'm not sure I like it. I think I find it frustrating to have that stacked so many times throughout the show. So many times there's the Catastrum Ordrum thing, but there's also before then, there's Nox saying that nightmares are horrible and that the power of the capsims is the power of nightmares and how awful it is that you would use those while he's using nightmare power as well. And there's this kind of unspoken argument, I think, that because of the way things are being presented, we're being told this power is evil instead of this power is power, and it's how you use it that determines whether it's good or evil, noble or noxious. And I find that interesting, and maybe because of the age level at the target audience, it makes sense to frame things that way. But as somebody who's a longtime Kamen Rider fan, and as somebody who's older and who's consumed a lot of media in a similar vein, I feel some frustration with it, and I don't understand why we're not just being clear about what we mean. And while I do find it interesting that characters are going on this journey and their level of understanding increases and changes as their power and their ability to use power changes and grows over the course of the series, the story, I do find that to be interesting. I don't think it always works. I don't think it's always the best way to tell a story. And I think that the frustrations that I'm experiencing with it now are proof of that. That's what you point to and say, no, stop this. Let's stop doing this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really work. It doesn't flow. It doesn't feel good. Yeah. So what am I saying? I'm saying as much as I really enjoyed Yu Takashi's writing, the revelations, the twists, the structured realization of what the truth is and what really matters is interesting to a point. But if that's all you ever do, I think it becomes tiresome, and I don't really like it. How do I feel about then thrillers, mysteries, detective stories, which are operating on a similar premise of are things hidden from the audience and revealed only lately? I guess it all comes down to the execution. And as much as I've loved Zeztz, maybe this part of it that, to me, feels like this concept is being harped on, that power that you're using is evil, the power I'm using is okay, or I'm a bad guy, so it's okay for me to use this power, but you're good, so it's not, is frustrating. And maybe it's just because of the poor execution of it, or maybe it's because of this idea of how power is wielded. And I'm not quite sure. I can't quite figure that out just yet. And I invite you to drop a comment and tell me if you understand what's going on, if you like what's going on, if you disagree with me and you see that this is all fantastic and it's all really well structured and all makes a lot of sense, because I just don't see that, and I need you to help me come to terms with that. I mean, I'm okay living with not liking certain aspects of the show that I still enjoy overall. But if you have a counter argument, I would love to hear it. And you can drop that in the comments. You should also check the pinned comment for my inspector's notes. I'll have stuff that doesn't fit into this main analysis there for you to check out. I had like 8 or 9 entries from last week from Zeztz 31 that you can check out. If you go and follow the inspector's notes, you can find links to the other episode as well, which is great. It's all connected in one source that I have for you to find things. And you can also find in the pinned comment the Zeztz playlist, as well as Omega and other tokusatsu stuff I've been talking about. So until next time, folks, take care, be well. This is MJ with Rider Tears and Henshin Inspection signing out.